Alright, well, time to look at yet another time travel story. This is Tomorrow is Yesterday. I know, weird title, but still, let's take a look at it, shall we? On Stardate 3113.2, the Federation starship USS Enterprise is thrown back in time to Earth during the 1960s by the effects of a high-gravity black star. The Enterprise ends up in Earth's upper atmosphere and is picked up as a UFO on military radar. A U.S. Air Force F-104 interceptor piloted by Captain John Christopher is scrambled to identify the craft. The pilot, surprised to see the strange craft before him, is ordered to stop the Enterprise from escaping. Captain Kirk uses a tractor beam on the jet, which accidentally tears the plane apart. Kirk orders the pilot to be transported aboard the Enterprise to save him. The man is at first confused by his new surroundings, then amazed by what the future holds, and is impressed and awed when he discovers that Enterprise is one of 12 such starships under the authority of a combined service, and that the computer calls Kirk Dear, having been overhauled on the female-dominated planet Sinjit 14. The technicians there thought the computer needed a personality. Freeing Christopher could disrupt the timeline if returned to Earth after glimpsing the future. Kirk decides Christopher must stay with the Enterprise. As Science Officer Spock later discovers that the pilot's own as yet unborn son will play an important role in future space mission to Saturn, Kirk realizes he must return Christopher to Earth, but without any knowledge of Enterprise or other future events. After learning the existence of film taken of the Enterprise by Christopher's wing cameras, Kirk and Lieutenant Sulu beam down to the airbase to recover it. Upon retrieving the relevant computer tapes, Kirk is captured and disarmed by an air policeman. When Spock attempts to contact Kirk via the communicator, the policeman accidentally activates an emergency signal and is immediately beamed aboard. If they had another abducted and confused native to deal with, he confine him to the transporter room. Spock, Sulu, and Captain Christopher, knowledgeable of the base's layout, beam down to find and recover Kirk. After Kirk's guards are subdued, Christopher grabs one of their guns and demands to be left behind. Spock, out of the room, has himself transported to a station behind Christopher, where he disables him with a Vulcan nerve pinch. After they return to the ship, Spock and Chief Engineer Scott inform Kirk of a possible escape method by slingshotting around the sun to break away and return to their time. The maneuver is risky, since even a small miscalculation could destroy the ship or make them miss their own era. Kirk okays the maneuver, and time aboard the Enterprise moves backwards. Captain Christopher is beamed back to his fighter jet at the instant he first encountered the Enterprise, preventing any evidence of the ship being produced, which erases his memory of his time with the Enterprise, and sighting is written off as just another UFO. The air policeman is also returned to his own time, just moments before he stumbles upon Kirk and Sulu, and his memory of his Enterprise visit is erased too. Enterprise then successfully returns to the 23rd century. Whew! Well, that got taken care of quickly. Anyway, let's look at the production elements of this story, shall we? The episode was originally conceived as part two to an earlier episode, The Naked Time. When the ending of that episode was revised, Tomorrow is Yesterday was reworked as a standalone story. Associate producer Robert Justman devised the original idea for the story, and it was handed to Dorothy Fontana to create a teleplay. Justman received neither credit nor payment for doing so, whereas Roddenberry's agent charged the studio up to $3,000 for his own story and rewrites. Gene. Now, there's also some anomalies with the story, so let's look at them. Lieutenant Uhura picks up a news broadcast while the Enterprise is struggling to orbit, announcing that the first mission to land on the moon would launch on Wednesday. The real Apollo 11 mission did not travel to the moon until 1969, a year after this episode is set. The air police are seen carrying Smith & Wesson Model 15 revolvers with staghorn grips in cross-draw holsters. While the pistols are correct for the period, the grips and holsters are not. The Air Force issued pistols with standard walnut grips. During his interrogation of Kirk, Lieutenant Colonel Fellini of the Air Police becomes exasperated with his answers and declares that, "I'm going to have you locked up for 200 years. Kirk wryly replies, "That would be just about right," referring to how many years in the past the Enterprise has been thrown. This doesn't match up with the Star Trek timeline. TOS is in the 23rd century, 300 years in the future from 1968, the year in which the Enterprise found herself after being slingshot through time. Well, maybe there was a miscalculation, but maybe not. So, overall, I give Tomorrow's Yesterday 5 warp cores out of 5. Well, till next time as we see Kirk undergo a court-martial. So, until then, live long and prosper, everybody.